Ciao everybody, my name is Joee Balestrieri, long Italian last name, I know. I am here today working with some things from our friends at Santa Joee Beads, and I'm having such a good time. I started to set up for my video and I couldn't help myself. As you can see, I've gotten a lot done. So I have two connector sets that are amazing. They're called Bling It glass connector sets. This is the emerald green and this one is the red. Isn't it beautiful? And these little connectors are gorgeously faceted crystals with a hole on either side, and that is precisely what I'm going to do with them. I'm going to make sort of a chain link bracelet using those connectors. I have this Color Trends Bead mix in Gunmetal Roses red, and I have pulled some things from that to make this really stunning pair of earrings. My whole jewelry set is going to be really elegant but a little bit edgy because of these really contemporary sleek lines from the Gunmetal Roses set and the disc spacers and the large open jump rings, and I'm going to be making my own ear wires for my earrings, and it's really simple. This is a great beginner project. So what I have in my little pot here are 10mm jump rings, and they are out of 20 gauge wire, and that's what I'm using to connect. So from the Gunmetal Roses, I pulled out all of these lovely textural disc spacers that were in there, and I am making an extender chain with my jump rings and those cool spacers. So it is simple connecting. I'm going to add one more to here. I'll show you what how simple that is. You just need the link and a jump ring, and I did have to go up to the 10mm jump ring for these just because of the width of the disc spacer. The hole is large enough to accommodate, but the width of the spacer going across the middle is what required a little bit larger jump ring, but it works beautifully, and it gives you all these places to connect your lobster claw clasp, but it's textural, like it's not just a regular chain. So I'm just making sure that my rings are closed really well, and just really close my jump rings. And look how cool that is. Isn't that amazing? I'm going to add one more ring, and that's going to be for a little dangle. I am a person that cannot stand for the last drop on an extender chain to be empty. I just feel like it's prime real estate for making something lovely to dangle from the bottom of either the back of a necklace or a bracelet. So that's what I'm going to do. Come on, little jump ring, get in there. Close this really well. And so this final loop, this final jump ring is ready for a little bauble, and I kind of already know what it's going to be. I've also cut apart two bead mixes. This Color Classics Burgundy, I'm sorry, not bead mix, bead strands. This Color Classics Burgundy bead strand is stunning, and it has so many gorgeous crystals in it and so many shiny, pretty things. And then the Midnight Green bead strand also is just full of gorgeous things. So what I was looking at, because if you can't tell, my piece is going to be red and green. I was looking at doing something with these little crystal cube beads for my final drop, but we'll put the bracelet together and, you know, kind of see how we feel about that for a drop. And so also from the Gunmetal Roses, I have this that I'm going to use for a focal, and like I said, it's a little bit edgy because the red and green is kind of festive, but when you put this gunmetal metal and the silver, to me it's very contemporary and very chic and, you know, really bold, and I love that. So also from the gunmetal mix is this cool, amazing spacer. It's got a really large hole and it's a little bit spiky, and I was playing with the crystals that are kind of long rice shaped, and they fit inside perfectly, and that just looks like another gorgeous bracelet component. So I'm going to use my one-step looper to make that component, and then we can start connecting. This is so simple and so stunning. My two favorite words in jewelry. And you can definitely do your simple loops with your pliers if you like doing them that way. I really love this tool when I have a beaded chain to make. It makes the fresh cut on the end of the wire, and I'm going to use it to hold onto my wire while I straighten that, so that my component starts out straight. And I pulled the wire down so that loop is centered on that wire, and I just get consistent loops. And when I'm making a beaded chain, I'll even keep the tool in my hand and just swing it out of the way. So I'm going to feed on one of those elongated crystals and that really cool edgy gunmetal component, and look how cool that is. I mean, it's just stunning. So simple, but when you start with supplies like this, your designs do look fabulous. So this time I'm going to use the guide hole in the tool, and I'm going to gently close it, and I've got my bead right up to the front, but I also have my wire as close to the back plate as I can. It's going to make that fresh cut for me, make my loop, and I'm going to pull my entire component down and finish closing. So I was watching here that I didn't harm my crystal beads, and I can see that my loop became misaligned a little bit, so now's a great time to straighten that out. And look at that, it's so gorgeous. Okay, let's start the connecting. I'm going to start right in the middle and work my way out. I do like to work harden all of my loops. It's just my way. I feel good about putting my pliers on everything and making sure everything is closed really well and work hardened. So I'm just going to connect my jump ring to my simple loop, and then on this flower component, I don't know if you guys can see, but there are crystals floating inside this open rose component. It's really amazing. It's so beautiful. So I'm just going to find a little spot. I'm going to go right here and connect and just close my jump ring really well. And sometimes I even put my pliers on the inside. When you're doing a project that's mostly connecting, it's important that your connecting look good. And so now I'm going to take another jump ring, and you're going to see how cool I'm so excited. I've had so much fun playing with this connector set. So I'm going to come right here and put my green one in, and let me just turn it so it doesn't escape for me. And let me close this, and I'll talk to you a little bit about the design here. I sort of did color blocking here. So the way that I have this laid out is a block of green and then broken up with the red and the gunmetal, and then this cool gunmetal open rose, and then green to space out the next color block of red, and it's all separated by silver. I think it's a really beautiful combination. So I'm going to keep connecting, and I'll show you how this is going to clasp. Really, just really unique and stunning and very festive. Look at this. Isn't that the most gorgeous bracelet? It's just a stunning chain, very slinky. It doesn't look great with my magical mystery bead box bracelets, but I just want to check my length. And the idea here is that this is adjustable. So this is the extender chain, and the lobster claw clasp will go on the other end, and it will be able to be hooked into any one of these rings. So for me, I want to get this length to be about at this link here so that this chain is dangling down. And this is super easy to adjust because we're simply opening and closing jump rings. So it's really, really easy to make this adjustable. So I'm going to connect my two more greens. And if I feel like it's too long, I can always disconnect one of the crystals and just set it aside for another project. So like, it's super easy to get your length right on this. And on this last one, I'm going to do 2 jump rings. I'm going to first add one of my 10mm jump rings, and to that I'm going to add a 6mm jump ring. I need to close that one a little bit better. And add my lobster claw clasp. It just makes clasping a little bit easier to have a smaller jump ring. So I'm just going to connect that and connect my lobster and close that really well. And now when I go to put this on, I can lay my extender chain across my wrist and bring this around, and very easily I can get a hold of my lobster claw clasp. And as I said, it can go anywhere on this really cool, edgy extender chain that's really made out of disc spacers. I'm so sorry. I was wearing these bracelets today and I just love these for summertime, but it's not making it very easy to see how gorgeous this chain is. But I really love it, and this is really, really easy to take on and off by yourself. This chain is just absolutely gorgeous. I mean, it's so slinky and just so malleable. I just love it. I want to sit and play with it. And obviously you could leave this very innovative extender chain. You could leave it with nothing on the final ring, but I really want to put something there. I always do. So I have a ball head pin here, and because of my color blocks, since red ended up being my last color block, then I want to choose something green that's going to be here, so, and alternate. So these are beautiful. These crystals are just so pretty, and that's a little bit chunky. I do have enough. I want to save one of these discs for my other earring, and I really love these crystal cube beads. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? That's so beautiful. And talk about edgy. Look at the facets. There's like mitered corners, and it's triangular, dimensionally triangular. What a gorgeous bead. And it's perfect to feature that as the dangle or the final drop. So I'm going to come, and this time I'm not going to use my one-step looper. I'm just going to put a bend in my wire and do a simple loop with my pliers by hand. Just bring that over, rotate, and then I'm going to pull this around and just get everything centered. I like to get my loop centered really well, so it looks like that. And then I'm going to come right here with my cutters where the 2 wires meet and snip, and now just close that loop really well. I always work harden my loops and my connections by opening and closing my pliers with just a little bit of force. That just looks great. And I'm going to come right to this final jump ring. I can find the opening and just open it and add this charm to the end and close it again really well. This is so gorgeous. I just love the color blocks, and I don't even feel the need to put a charm anywhere in the piece because the whole thing is just so bold and stunning. I have to put it on again. It's just so pretty and totally, totally adjustable. I'm going to come to this second. Oh, wow. That is just so pretty and so fun to play with. And I love the drama of this extender chain. And this component is gorgeous and just so interesting. Like, really no 2 things on the whole piece are alike. And it's also very lightweight for being as bold as it is. It's very lightweight and very chain-like. So I'm going to slip this off so that we can look at it while we build our earrings. So same thing on the earring. I took the tassel from the Gunmetal Roses set, and again, color blocks with the red, the green, the red, and everything separated by silver, and a little bit edgy, like stacking the discs is a little bit edgy, and even the crystals and the faceting just kind of floating like that with nothing around. And Also, I really love the 10mm jump ring because that negative space is just very contemporary. That open space, you know, is just very contemporary and sleek, and going down into the very sleek cone on the silky tassel. I just love it. I love the whole thing. So I only need one of my crystals for that. So I'm going to just clean up a little bit while we do the earrings. Let's see. Also, I need, before I put everything away, I need 2 disc spacers for that. And what else did I use? 2 jump rings. And I already have my piece of 20 gauge wire out here. So I'm going to just clean up a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, same thing again. I'm going to open my jump ring and get my crystal connected. And I'm going to put my beautiful tassel at the bottom of that. And then I'm going to take another jump ring and open this one for the top of my crystal. I'll just set that aside while we build the earring. And if you didn't notice, my stack of beads that makes up the earring goes right into becoming an all-in-one ear wire. I've done this a lot, and some of you may have already seen it. It's one of my very favorite ways to make an earring. It's just so easy, and my craft wire is anti-tarnish, so it's just really, really nice. I'm going to use my 1.5mm one-step looper to put a simple loop in this end, and when there's no beads on the wire, you just need to go past this back jaw, and the tool makes a fresh blunt cut for you, so it's a step you can skip with your cutters. And I'm closing it, it's making that loop, and now just like before, I'm going to pull this down and make sure that my loop is centered on the wire, and while it's in the tool, I can give myself a really nice smooth straight piece of wire. And like I said, you can totally do this with your pliers. I think everybody gets their own rhythm in jewelry, and they find the way that works for them best. So I like to switch around from doing it with my tools or with the one-step looper. So when I take that away, I have this perfect little loop, and it matches my other earring. And then I'm going to feed my disc spacers on here in the same order that I did the other ones, just like that. And then I'm missing my red bead. Both ears need a red bead at the top. And so the other reason why I took my time to really straighten my wire is that for this type of an earring where your bead design is going to go right into becoming your ear wire, it's really important that everything be straight and that you know the front of your piece. So I'm going to grab a hold of this. In fact, before I even do that, let me open this and attach it. Oh, no, I don't. I already have this ring open. I'm talking and not paying attention to what I'm doing. So we're going to attach this ring to the bottom here. I'm going to have to redo my bead stack and just close that really well. Work harden a little bit, and I'll put my beads back on very quickly. Disc, textured disc, plain disc, and red bead. And so adding that final drop is going to help me because I see that this is the front of my earring. And that's really important when you're about to turn your leftover wire into your ear wire. So I'm going to get my wire right where it exits the bead, that top bead, and I'm going to bend it forward at about 45 degrees. And to know if I got it right, it's supposed to hold this bead on, and it is. The bead is not coming off, but honestly, I feel like I could be a little bit more forward just to make sure, and that's really secure. So now my bead stack is not coming off of there. And so again, making sure that I am looking at the front, I'm going to come in with my 6-step bail making plier, and really you can use any any plier that you want, any bail. But on these, I chose my second to the largest step on here, and I want to say this is about 8mm. I don't remember the millimeters on the steps of my tool, but really you could do any one. Let me make sure that that's the one I did. Yes, it is. Really, you could do any one. Sometimes I do the smaller one and make really small sort of French hooks. And if I'm doing a more contemporary avant-garde like piece like this where it's bold and edgy, then I'll usually go for a larger ear wire just for the architecture to add to my piece. Take a moment and get everything straight. And I'm just going to bend this over the back so it looks like that. And when I take it away, my ear wire is formed and it's just beautiful. And now I'm going to match these up and do my best to trim these at the same spot. The beads are always a little bit in the way, but just do your best. I'm just going to come right there and snip. And now I'm going to take my flat nose pliers and just line up this with the end of the wire that I've just cut and kick that out. And I'm going to do the same thing on this one, just line it up and kick that out, so it just makes this really, really beautiful ear wire. I mean, it's just so gorgeous. And I'm going to do one more thing. I'm going to use my battery operated bead reamer, but I don't have the reamer attachment. I have the wire rounder attachment on the end, so it's just a little cup there. And it's a very professional way to finish handmade ear wires. You put your wire in and press the button and go around, and it smooths out anything at all that might have been sharp from cutting the wire. And it's just no longer craft wire. It is an artisan ear wire and just one of a kind. I'm going to do the same thing on this one. And these beautiful earrings are finished. They are so fun and bold and flirty, but very chic, little bit edgy with some of the contemporary lines. I absolutely love this set. I love the cool extender chain on this bracelet, and I love how fluid and this is just absolutely stunning. Jessie James Beads is quite famous for their crystals and their boho beads and having really unusual metal elements on their bead strands and in their bead mixes. And these are classic items from their website, so check the description box for links if you need supplies and you want to give these projects a try. I just absolutely love this. This looks a little bit festive and a little bit holiday, but to be honest, you guys, I would wear this all the time. I mean, just year round, even with jeans and a white t-shirt. This is just a stunning, makes you look pulled together and polished and very chic. So I thank you so much for watching. I hope everybody is having a great summer, and I will see you in the next video. Ciao, friends.